Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. So we're at Game 5 of Colonial Carnage 2016, my Beast Herds versus a Kingdom of Equitaine list. And I'm calling this Trader Sabotage, and I'll explain that a little bit. So I'm on Table 2, but there's a pretty big spread between the top two players playing on Table 1 and then this table. But I'm playing against Jerry P. And if you watch my channel, he's been on here a bunch of times. I have been in his club Cobra Kai for many years, or for several years anyway. And I mean, just for this tournament, just recently I left that club because I wanted to start a new club here in my area to attract, to kind of combine a couple gaming groups. So technically I'm not in his club anymore, but like we're staying in the same hotel room, we drove up together, and now we're playing on the last table. We have played 3 times. The first time we played, he barely beat me. Second time we played is a very famous game. You might remember my Bretonnians against his Infernal Dwarfs, or I guess they're called Chaos Dwarfs at the time, and just curb stomped them. It was awesome. And then the next time we played, we drew. So yeah, this is a fitting end to a very fun tournament. So he's kind of got an interesting list. He really spread out throughout covering the whole table, which is something I personally don't do, but it was working for him. So he knows that I've got the Centaur Chieftain with the Impaler, so he's really worried about that Green Knight model. So he's got Knights Aspirant way over here on the left, Knights of the Realm unit with his General and his Battle Standard Bearer, and then he's got the Green Knight. Those tokens you see there, I need to get over and claim tokens to get extra points, extra battle points, and he has to do the same for tokens on my side. He's got a big unit of peasant levy. The army list is in the description. Got a unit of 3 Pegasus Knights. Has another Knight of the Realm unit, 7 in this one. And then he's got his big unit, which is 6 Peg Knights and a Paladin on Pegasus with a Dragon Lance. So this is a super hard-hitting, far-reaching unit. He's got some fast cav in front, and then a unit of 6 Grail Knights on the right. We were playing cat and mouse a little bit, and then I just kind of jumped on the right-hand side. It's against this army, it's tough to pick on half of it at a time because he moves so fast. But I'm hoping to, with my chariots and those Gortach, to just kind of slow down units on the left and helping out on the right if necessary, and trying to deal with this right-hand side first if I can. I mean, it's not an easy side. It's that Peg Knight unit I can't nail down. He's going to have to charge me. Grail Knights, of course, are tough. But it's what I got. So, and you should be familiar with my list. If not, it's in the description. And he doesn't have any. He has no shooting and no magic whatsoever. He basically has an item that's a dispel scroll, but no magic at all. So, yeah. All right. So he won the roll to go first. He moves up like that. And of course, now again, there's no magic, there's no shooting, of course, no combat, so his turn's over. Boom. We go to Beastlord's turn 1. All right, so the Gortach are pushing up on the left, as are my Minotaurs. I actually don't like how I did my Minotaurs, but the Gortach are up there. They're really too far away for the units on the left to charge, and to be honest with you, don't really care if they do. In the lower left, I'm trying to use the line of sight and that chariot so that he can't see me, but if he wants to come past the hill, he might risk a charge. And so I'm kind of trying to get my Gortach to exert pressure on his middle units and maybe hold off a little bit on the left. If you look at the very top, I took 1 Gortach and charged his Peg Knight unit. It was a long charge, but he had to take a terror test, and he failed it. So I'm just really hoping they don't pass their, what is it, leadership 8? I don't know if they have a musician or not, but 8 or 9 on a rally. Over here, he put fast cav up in my face. And so I just charged him. So I was happy with that. And then when everything's said and done, it looked like this. So in my mind, I'm trying to get the Grail Knights to charge one of these units. I'm going to be steadfast 10 rerollable. And I got the Blooded Horn totem up on each of these units. I am dying for the Grail Knights to get in there because he's going to win, but I'm going to be steadfast. But I'm going to have a fair amount of attacks, rerolling to hit probably. Wounding on 5s hurts, but then he's only saving on a 4-up. And these Grail Knights are so expensive that I only need to sneak a few through to really put a hurting on that unit. A mistake I made was that I didn't realize how close that leftmost unit was to his big Peg Knight / Paladin unit. And now, so if he charges his Grail Knights and the Peg Knights into my leftmost unit, there's a real good chance I'm not going to be steadfast, and then he's going to overrun into my main unit, and then I don't have any units set up to countercharge because I pushed my Minotaurs too far forward. So, not having realized that at the time, when he declared his charges, if you look at the bottom middle, bottom right, I fled with the unit of Wildhorns just so I didn't have to take that chance. He redirected his Grails into another unit of Wildhorns, which I'm very happy with, and then his Paladin's unit failed their charge. So happy with all that. I'm not happy that he rallied his 3 Peg Knights, but what you got to do? And meanwhile, on the left, he's coming on over. Now my Chariot on the left is gone. I think what happened there is that I thought I was hidden from view, and I think it was just sloppy gameplay, because when we got to it, he wasn't, and so he charged me. I fled. Chariot fled off the table, panicked a unit of dogs. So that's just sloppy play on my part. Let's see. He also had a unit charging these Mongrel Raiders. I fled. In hindsight, it was a mistake. I fled it because I had a Gortach set up to countercharge his unit of 7 Knights of the Realm. And I didn't really think about it. But, when I fled, now when I charge him, he just has to flee that charge. And it actually helps him because it slows, he retreats, he can rally, and then come against me when the rest of his army is coming against me. So I think it was a mistake on his part to charge this unit, and I should have stuck for it. So Grails charge over here. They do what Grail Knights do. My opponent was thinking that they should have done more wounds. I'm looking at it, I think they did about what they should have. Maybe they flubbed a couple. I was really disappointed. I got 2 wounds off on him. I don't know what the math is on that. I would have 15 attacks hitting on 4s, so with rerolls. So let's say 10 hits. I guess I should have done 3 wounds, and he should have saved at least 1. So yeah, that's probably about right. I was hoping to kill more, but I'm happy enough. Of course, I don't have a unit to countercharge, and if I was thinking, I should have reformed this unit to the right so that my Centaur Chieftain could countercharge into their flank, and I didn't do it when I should have done it, and I didn't want to ask for takebacks. So I'm just hoping these guys can stick around a little bit. Just don't break on my turn. Horrible blurry picture. Overall, the board looks like that. Let's see what's going on. So, one Gortach charged the unit of Knights of the Realm, and he just fled. So now again, I'm hoping to just run off the board. After combat over here, Grail Knights totally flubbed it this time. They did 5 wounds. And of course, they're only strength 4 now, so maybe that's not too bad. But I wasn't steadfast at this point, but I was able to stick, so that was nice. I don't mind losing this unit, and I don't mind breaking on my opponent's turn. I just really, really, really don't want to break on my turn. So we go to Kingdom of Equitaine turn 3, and it's been kind of weird. I was hoping to engage half his army at a time, but now because of his failed terror test and his failed charges and stuff like that, with both of us fleeing, now his army really has me surrounded, and I kind of shot myself in the foot. His Green Knight charged 1 Gortach. Surprisingly, I'm just really not that worried about it. I've got the Path of Nature. I feel like I can regrow wounds on him if necessary, and I've got so many attacks that I just need him to fail one of his, 1 or 2 of his 1-up ward saves. So anyway, for the most part, I just go ahead and turn to the left, mainly because on the right, he's got his big unit of pegs, and I can't dictate anything with them. If I move anything towards it, he just has to fly over my head, and then I'm just, wasting time. So I just turn a flank to him with my general's unit. The only thing I'm worried about is his guy with the Dragon Lance going against my general. So what I start doing here is, I think in this picture it shows my BSB in the top right corner. I need to get my general over there because his Paladin is such that he won't be able to touch my general. His Paladin can kill all the Longhorns he wants. I want my general killing Peg Knights, and I think he can do that pretty well. So there's that. After combat, he sneaks a couple wounds through on me. I don't do any to him. I am able to reform, and it looks like that. Overall, he's holding me up. I don't love that, but overall, for some reason, I'm just kind of confident that I'll be okay. So we go to Beast, and that may be foolish confidence, but that's what I'm thinking. So we go to Beastlord's turn 3. I throw a Chariot out in front of his units, just trying to redirect him. Really, I'm saying to his general's unit, if you want to charge his chariot, do it. You're going to take a Minotaur charge, as payment for it. If you look at the very top, Gortach charged his peasants. They fled. This is starting to get frustrating. It's like, neither one of us is going to get any points because we're both just fleeing everything and we can't get anything into combat. I'm hoping those guys run off the board, but they're so far away that even with low leadership, there's a chance they're going to rally before they get off the board. Yeah, there's that. Centaur Chieftain chucks a Impaler at these guys and goes right through them, kill 3 of them, so that was very nice. We go to Kingdom of Equitaine turn 4, and now stuff's happening. So I was just, during the game, I was just thinking, man, we need to get in combat. And now, boy, oh boy, are we in combat. If you look on the right, his Grail Knights charged a unit. They obviously broke my Wildhorns, and then they charged a unit, and I fled, and he redirected and failed his redirect. And I think either he caught him, either I ran off the board, and that's just where he landed, or I think he caught them, and that's just where he landed. Whatever, it's something like that. He crisscrossed his knights, so his knights errant charge this unit. I don't care. He can overrun, he can stay there. Either way, they're going to get eaten by Minotaurs. This one has me nervous. So he has a unit of 5 Peg Knights with a Paladin with a Dragon Lance charging the rear of my unit, and he's got 3 Peg Knights charging the flank of my unit. I've got my general in the front right. I can't, it's hard to, yeah, you can see him if you look closely. So he gets an extra attack, extra pip of strength for every character touching his unit, so that's 1. And then I have the Blooded Horn Totem up, so he has 6 strength, 7 attacks with an armor save modifier of 4. So, yeah, we're just going to I think we get a challenge with champions or whatever, and then, and I think, by the way, that my champion killed his champion, which is kind of funny. But anyway, then my general's just going to go against Peg Knights on the right, and I really need them dead so that I can reform. I'm going to lose a lot of models here, but I'm going to stick, I believe, and then I'm going to reform, and then I'm going to chop them up. But the unit on the left has to be gone, or else I can't reform. And after combat, yeah, General did okay, but he just couldn't quite seal the deal. The Beastlord, even with the Blooded Horn Totem up, just couldn't do much behind me. I think those Peg Knights that are there are still alive. I think he only killed like 1 and put a wound on 1 or something like that. So that is very, very, very scary. I don't know how killy these guys are going to be in future rounds of combat, but that is tough. But I stuck, and the game goes on. I'm not going to complain. Meanwhile, over here, the Gortach, he gets I roll a 6 against the Green Knight, and he rolls a 1 for his ward save. He only has 2 wounds. I do D3 wounds. I roll it, and I roll a 1. Darn it. Through magic or some other way, or through that one, I guess, I healed a wound. So I'm still at 1 wound. He wasn't able to heal me despite him being strength 6. And now we're 1 wound apiece. And again, I'm thinking I'm just going to keep throwing so many attacks, 6 attacks, re-rolling to hit, that you're going to fail some of them. Go to Beastlord's turn 4. I don't know why he didn't. I charged the Minotaurs in the flank of his Knights Errant. He didn't flee because my Gortach was right there and would have been able to charge, and between the 2 of them they would have caught him and reformed and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to eat that unit. I'm going to go back 1. If you look at the bottom, I don't know what I'm doing with my Mongrel Raiders and that unit of Wildhorns. I mean, the Grail Knights are going to easily charge his Wildhorns if he wants, and then his General's unit can charge the Mongrels. I can flee off the table, in which case he easily redirects into the Wildhorns, or I can stand there, in which case he kills them, and then overruns into the Wildhorns. I'll probably just stay for it, and then hope that after he beats me in combat, I can flee and maybe get away, but just bad positioning. Anyway, there's that. After combat, so we go to the magic phase, and I focus on defensive stuff. So I give these guys, I've got the Oaken Throne up, and I give them the toughness buff. So I'm toughness 8, and I have distracting -1 to hit. So I'm not going to do as many wounds, but I mean, if you look at my unit, I don't know if he did any wounds to me. I mean, just nothing. My general's in a challenge with his champion on the right, and of all things, I couldn't kill that guy. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, he couldn't do any to me. I won just through static combat res, and his general broke. So it buys me some time, but they're not his general. His Paladin in the Peg Knights broke. It buys me some time. They're certainly going to challenge. They're going to rally. Meanwhile, Minotaurs ate lunch, and we go to Kingdom of Equitaine turn 5. At this point, we're running really, really late for a variety of reasons, so we're not going to get 6 turns. We both know it. So he charges the Grail Knights in the rear of my Wildhorn unit. In the lower left, his General BSB and the Knight of the Realm unit charge my Mongrels. He rallies the Peg Knight with his General. If you look at the top middle, his Knight of the Realm unit, I think is just sitting there. I think they tried to charge my General's unit and failed it. And at this point, I think his Peasant Levy rallied. So he's kind of saving points. The stuff he's thrown into combat has given me some points, but he has a lot of points that he's just saving. So there's that. Very predictable. Actually, I'm kind of surprised that I was still steadfast with my Wildhorns. They were steadfast, and despite their leadership, I think they're out of leadership bubble. They stuck. So that's actually worked out. The fact that they stuck was nice, and there's not too many models left, so I can countercharge on my turn and won't be given. I mean, I can give away some serious combat res, but I don't think I'll give away too much. After combat, my general finally decides to kill that thing, and then he reforms, and I reform it away, or I don't reform. Let me think. I pivoted. So what you didn't see was I took a picture, and the Peg Knight was still in my flank, so I reformed after that turn so that he wasn't in my flank, and then after this combat I pivoted so that I could charge on my next turn. So we go to Beastlord's turn 5, this final turn of the game. He decides to take my charge with his Peg Knights, and down here he didn't have a choice. Gortach in the flank, Centaur Chieftain in the rear. I'm starting to think now. Well, anyway, I think I take everything back about the last turn. I think we did get 6 turns in. Anyway, Gortach is touching his general. I go against rank and file or general. I think I throw like 1 or 2 attacks at the rank and file, and the rest I put in the general. I would love to kill him. Centaur Chieftain has 4 strength 7 attacks, possibly rerolling to hit. He's going to throw 2 at the BSB and the rest of the unit. I'm just kind of chucking stuff around because I really am not worried about it. Yeah, there's that. After combat, his I could be mistaken. Here's what I think it is. I think his BSB's dead. The unit's down to 1 guy. Gortach kind of fluffed against his general. And overall, I don't remember who won. And I don't feel like adding it up now. But it was close enough that we all stuck. Which I found very interesting. But I still, if we can fight a little bit more. Yeah, let me think. And these guys, yeah, we kill them and then run them down. There we go. So now we go to Kingdom of Equitaine turn 6. And we fight this. And he can't kill my Gortach. My Gortach still can't kill his general. It's a little bit frustrating. And I think then we decided just not to do my turn. I don't know. I think we were confused, and we thought we were ending at the end of a turn. My Centaur Chieftain didn't rally, so we said we just rolled that for my turn, and after that we just called it. I don't know. It was kind of weird. So we got to the end, and it ended up being a 14-6 victory for the Beastherds. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that game. I think there was a couple maneuvering things I think I really, really screwed up and could have been done better. My opponent was frustrated. He felt that the Grail Knights and Peg Knights both should have done better. I think there were some rounds, 1, maybe 2 rounds of combat where he forgot to stomp with the Peg Knights. I trust him. I believe him. I don't remember one way or the other. But overall, a very, very pleasing win against Jerry. So a couple really cool things happened. So one, I ended up being 3rd place in the tournament, which I was super, super happy with. If you remember game 2, I got 0 points. It's tough to come back from a 0-point butt whooping. And to come back and take 3rd place, I was 3rd place in overall battle points, as well as 3rd place just overall, which includes painting and sportsmanship and everything. And I was, I think, a good 10 points away from 2nd place. So that was, no matter how this game went, I wasn't going to take 2nd. Anyway, very happy about that. So one cool thing that happened, so I won best in race, the best Beasters army, but the people that printed the medal, this is like a medal that you wear around your neck, right? They screwed it up, and for whatever reason, instead of putting Beast Herds, they put Best Hers. which I thought was even better. Like that was fantastic. I love it. Fantastic. So then we go to the best team awards, and this was fantastic because when I was with Cobra Kai, yeah, and before I joined Cobra Kai, I mean Cobra Kai won the best team award in almost every tournament we went to. I can think of one, maybe two that we didn't, and it was usually like in one of them we were running the tournament, so we only had a few guys playing. But anyway, we're just almost every GT if we went to it, we won it. And so they get to the best club award, and my new club is called Devastating Charge. And so the TO, he says, okay, for best club, we have Devastating Charge at however many points, I don't know, let's say 360 points. And I start to stand thinking that we won. He said, and we have Cobra Kai. And I sit down thinking, ah, crap. He goes, and we have Cobra Kai at 360 points. I want you to appreciate how hard that is to accomplish. They take the total score for your top three players, and it comes to 360, right? What are the odds of actually tying that? And then the tiebreaker goes to whoever has the top player. And Shannon he actually won the tournament from my club. So he was in first place, I was in third place. Cobra Kai had a guy in second place, and then people below us. So we won through the tiebreaker. So I left Cobra Kai in our very first GT. The brand new club beats them for best club. It was awesome. Call it Traders Sabotage. Good times. It was a good tournament. Lots of fun. As an addendum to this, I'm going to a tournament this weekend. It was 2 weeks ago. The former tournament was, and round one pairings as they have them now has me playing Jerry round one, and we're driving down together, so that should be interesting. But I'm not taking my beast herds. I'm taking Kingdom of Equitaine. I'm going to play them for this tournament, and might play them for the next little while. My Undying Dynasties just are not playable yet, and I don't want to rush it. And I'm not in a hurry to. I'm just not feeling them yet. This game playing against the Kingdom of Equitaine made me excited to play them for a little while, so I'm going to go back to my roots. Anyway, that's it here. Thank you so much for watching the video. I truly hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has a variety of functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like or comment on the video, you can favorite it, you can share it, and of course you can subscribe to the channel. And I encourage you to do any or all of those things as a way of interacting between viewer and producer. As always, I appreciate your patronage on the channel and wish you all the best.